Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So, just want to give you the latest news regarding Jadon Sancho, and there's negativity coming out regarding Jadon Sancho, because according to reports, Manchester United are prepared to walk away from a deal for Jadon Sancho. The main explanation is because of Borussia Dortmund's unrealistic asking price. Because Borussia Dortmund have said that they do want around £108 million. And it has been reported from the BBC, and it says that Manchester United and Borussia Dortmund are apart in their valuation. So it does say now that personal terms are not agreed, and it also said no fee has been agreed. But Fabrizio Romano did say earlier on this week that Jadon Sancho has agreed personal terms with the football club, and he had said he had agreed a 5-year contract with Manchester United worth around £250,000 a week. It did say that Man United would pay an initial £90 million in 3 annual instalments, and it said there would be like 18 million in add-ons based on Jadon Sancho's performances. So obviously, that would make him our most expensive signing, and it would make him the most expensive English player in history. But I still want Manchester United to sign Jadon Sancho. I do think that £108 million is far too much. And I've got to admit, there is cheaper solutions than Jadon Sancho that we can't explore. Obviously, the other week we looked at Kingsley Coman from Bayern Munich. We inquired about getting him on loan. We looked at Robin Matondo from Schalke before. We also looked at Thiago Almeida. We also looked at Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona. So we have looked at quite a few alternatives to Jadon Sancho. It did say if Sancho signs for Manchester United, he will be our next number 7, because obviously, we have got number 7 vacant at the moment, and we have had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. Obviously, Borussia Dortmund did say they've come to accept the fact that Jadon Sancho wants to leave. So obviously, they are now in the market looking for a replacement for him. Obviously, Dortmund have been looking at Rashika from Werder Bremen. They've also been looking at Memphis Depay from Lyon. They've also been looking at Jonathan Eacock from Lille. So they have looked at quite a few replacements. But like I said to you, throughout the course of the Jadon Sancho transfer saga, it has been Borussia Dortmund's asking price that has been the stumbling block. Because, we've said several times that, we are not willing to pay what Borussia Dortmund are demanding, but Borussia Dortmund do remain ruthless over their valuation now. At one point, it said we was only willing to pay like £50 million for Sancho. Then it said, we was only willing to pay £80 million for Sancho. Now, obviously, Borussia Dortmund have set their deadline for the sale of the player, and they've told Man United, that we've got until the 10th of August to sign him. But I did expect Manchester United to sign Jadon Sancho on Friday. This is, what I did expect. And I think Sancho has enjoyed 3 good years with Borussia Dortmund. He really, really has. I think this season he scored 20 goals and 20 assists in 40 odd games in all competitions. Dortmund only paid £8 million in from Man City back in 2017. So Dortmund got him for next to nothing. But analyse his performances in the few years he's been with Dortmund, his valuation has persistently grown. But I've outlined the reasons why I want Sancho at the football club is because he'll dramatically improve us. He's well proven in the Premier League, and he's also got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford, and still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. Borussia Dortmund is the 3rd club in his playing career. Obviously, before I was at Dortmund, he was at City. Had to leave Man City because he didn't get assured any first team opportunities. and before he was at City, he was at Watford, and I think he's still only at the age of 20. As you all know, there were stories coming out the other week saying that Man United had agreed an initial £60 million fee for Jadon Sancho, and it said there'd be like £30 or £40 million in add-ons. Then it said just before that from the German press that we had an £89 million bid turned down for the player. You had Michael Zorg, the Borussia Dortmund director, and he recently said, Michael Zorg, that he hopes Jadon Sancho can remain at Dortmund for another season. So yeah, the deal could now be off, and I did say, I expect Sancho to be our first signing in this summer transfer window, and I expect him to be our fifth permanent signing overall under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. But Sancho to Manchester United now could be off. I still believe there's a chance, we could get him on the board. But we shall see. But there'll be definitely no more developments on the Jadon Sancho story without a shadow of a doubt. But we're the only club that are now in for him anyway, because obviously Liverpool are no longer in for him. He did actually say recently that his preferred moves. He's preferred a move to Liverpool over Man United. Chelsea, of course, are no longer in for him. If Sancho is sold, by the way, in this summer transfer window, City are entitled to, I think, around £15 million due to the sell-on clause that had taken him to Borussia Dortmund. But like I said to you before, Dortmund have let quite a few of their players go to the Premier League in recent years. Obviously, they let Aubameyang go a few years ago. They let Pulisic go. They let Lewandowski go. They let Ilkay Gundogan go. They let Mkhitaryan go. They let Ousmane Dembele go. They also let Matt Hummels go. Yeah, Matt Hummels go. Dortmund have let, loads of their players go to the Premier League in recent years. They've recruited some players in as well. Obviously, they got Jude Bellingham in the other week from Birmingham for 20-odd million. They also got Erling Haaland in January. There's other players that they've brought in recent years. Julian Brandt, Thorgan Hazard, Emre Can. So yeah, they have done some good recruitment in recent years. But yeah, so we are now looking at cheaper alternatives than Jadon Sancho. So that is the breaking news on him anyway. Now, I just want to give you some news regarding Dean Henderson. So, the news is regarding Dean Henderson is that he has issued a warning to Manchester United, saying that he wants to be made number one for next season. If he isn't made number one for next season, he wants to leave Manchester United. And I think he is set to have showdown talks with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer obviously did recently say that Dean Henderson is not yet ready to become Man United's number one goalkeeper. I think we should put him as number one next season because Dean Henderson has now got that experience behind him, because he's enjoyed two successful loans with Sheffield United. Obviously, he has been Sheffield United's player of the season as Dean Henderson. He's had quite a few other loan spells as well with Stockport, Grimsby and Shrewsbury. Obviously, we got Dean Henderson back in 2011 from Carlisle. We got him at the age of 14. There were stories coming from Sky Sports the other week, I think it was, saying that our contract talks with Dean Henderson are at a crucial stage and his future will be much clearer in the next couple of weeks. He says we're hopeful of getting Dean Henderson a 5-year contract at the football club. But if he isn't sure to be number one, I think he's going to obviously want to leave Manchester United. He's Dean Henderson. He still mentions, that Chelsea want him because Chelsea are looking for a replacement for Kepa Arrizabalaga. He did say the other week that Chelsea are willing to more than double his wages. Chelsea are willing to offer him around 170 grand a week. Dean Henderson's wages at the moment are like £70,000 a week, but Sheffield United have been paying the vast majority of that. They've been paying the vast majority of that. But yeah, we need to put him as number one for next season because Obviously, De Gea, he's been our number one for several years, but we have been very, very critical of David De Gea. Obviously, reflect on his poor performances in the last couple of years. This has been David De Gea's ninth season at Man United. He is approaching his 10th year at the football club, and Solskjaer was talking about him the other week, saying that De Gea, his position is under threat. And he did say that he has got to raise his game, but he also said that De Gea has been the best goalkeeper in the world for the last 9 or 10 years. De Gea has made 404 appearances for Man United in all competitions and 300 odd appearances in the Premier League. He has won everything domestically at the football club, and he has won individual awards, reflects on his good run of performances. Obviously, last September, David De Gea signed a 4-year deal at Man United worth around £375,000 a week. But like I said, when De Gea does eventually leave Man United, I think he will go back to Spain. Main explanations is because he was born in Spain, relatives are from Spain, and he began his footballing career in Spain. And back in 2015, he was close to joining Real Madrid, but due to a fax machine on deadline day, his move to Real Madrid did not materialise in that. So he's got a goalkeeping decision to make. Obviously, we've looked at a few goalkeepers who could replace De Gea. Obviously, we've looked at Jadon from Atletico Madrid, but he'll cost us a substantial amount. He'll cost us around £109 million. Because that's his buyout clause in his contract with Atletico Madrid. Obviously, we've looked at Kasper Schmeichel recently from Leicester. To be honest with you, it would be a much cheaper solution than Jan or Black. But so we have to make Dean Henderson as number one. Obviously, Sergio Romero, he's another one of our goalkeepers. He does play in the cup games. Well, when we do recall Dean Henderson from his loan, Sergio Romero will be third choice goalkeeper, and reflects on that, I think he'll want to leave the club. We'd probably demand around 5 or 6 million for him. Romero's been at the club around 5 years now, because we got him on a free from San Pandora back in 2015. You already know the news regarding Alexis Sanchez. Obviously, Sanchez is set to join Inter Milan on a free transfer. Fabrizio Romano and Di Marzio had confirmed this recently, and Fabrizio Romano and Di Marzio are two very reliable journalists. They are Italian. I don't think it's been made official yet, but yeah, Sanchez is going to sign a 3-year contract, I think, with Inter Milan, and Inter Milan are going to pay Sanchez around £125,000 a week after tax. But I'm surprised, we're not demanding a fee for Sanchez, but it actually, did say at the first that Inter Milan were going to get Sanchez permanently for around 13.5 million. Sanchez has actually, still got a contract with Man United until 2022, but I'm just delighted that we're getting rid of Sanchez permanently, because it is going to free up our wage bill completely. Because during Sanchez's loan at Inter Milan, where we were still paying the vast majority of his wages, we were still paying him £300,000 a week, and Inter Milan were paying like the other £100,000 a week, don't forget. And Sanchez did join Inter Milan on a 10-month loan last summer. He has done well for Inter Milan recently. He did have that injury for a while. I think he had a dislocated ankle and he was out for like 3 months. And not too long ago, we turned down Inter Milan's loan offer plus an obligation to buy for £13 million, don't forget, for Sanchez. But Sanchez's wages at Man United, were 400 grand a week, potentially rising up to 500 grand a week based on the image rights and the bonuses and all of that. So it's good that he's going. But let's revert back to the news on Sancho. I think another one of the main explanations why we're prepared to walk away from the deal is because we don't want to make the same mistake as what we did, with Alexis Sanchez. This is, why we're probably prepared to walk away from the deal, for Sancho. But even if we sign Jadon Sancho, it still isn't enough for Manchester United. I think we need 3 more signings if we do sign Jadon Sancho. Just Jadon Sancho alone is not enough for Manchester United, to be challenging for big prizes and that. Because Solskjaer, did say that he wants to make at least, 3 signings in this summer transfer window. I think Ed Woodward had said the exact same thing. He wants to make around 3 or 4 signings. Obviously, we know that Solskjaer's identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. Obviously, we're looking to recommend the centre half, and despite the fact that we've got 7 centre halves in the team, we're looking for someone to go alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. Obviously, there's been quite a few centre halves on our agenda. Gabriel Magalhaes from Lille, Kalidou Koulibaly still on our agenda. Tyrone Mings from Villa. It says, we're interested in getting a left back in. We have got 2 predominant left backs, and that's obviously, Luke Shaw and Brandon Williams. Obviously, Luke Shaw is our first choice left back. Probably will remain our first choice left back for next season because he's more experienced than Williams. But I think Williams could become our first choice left back in the next couple of years, maybe. As you all know, Williams signed a 4-year contract at Manchester United to keep at the club until 2024, and there's also an option of a further year. So that was very, very good news, and that was confirmed yesterday. We're also looking to get a holding midfielder in, but there's a lot of Man United fans saying that they don't think we'll get a holding midfielder in. There's still some Manchester United fans saying that, we do need a striker and that. But there's still deficiencies in the squad. But Solskjaer obviously, wants to overhaul the Manchester United squad. Obviously, Solskjaer did say at the start of his managerial tenure that he wanted to make around 9 signings at Manchester United. And he actually, agreed this with Mike Phelan. And so far, Solskjaer has made 4 permanent signings at the football club and spent just over £200 million on them. Obviously, this summer transfer window is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager and his 2nd summer transfer window. But Solskjaer did say yesterday that, we're in no rush to do early transfer business. He said it is a long transfer window. Obviously, signings have already been made. Manchester City have just recently completed the signing of Ferran Torres from Valencia. They're on the verge of getting Nathan Ake from Bournemouth. I think they've also signed another player. Obviously, Chelsea got Hakim Ziyech back in February for around 37 or 38 million. They also got Werner from Leipzig for around 48 million pounds. Chelsea looking to get Havertz, and they're also looking to get Ben Chilwell. And obviously, teams like Tottenham and Arsenal and Leicester, they're all going to do recruitment as well. Liverpool are going to want to make 1 or 2 signings, to continue their dominance up. But this transfer window is open until October and that. So big decisions have got to be made. Obviously, Grealish, he's still on our agenda. He's another one of our priority targets. Personally speaking, I want Grealish at Man United, but I just think he's too expensive because Aston Villa have said that they do want £80 million. There's a possibility chance that Grealish could stay at Villa for another season because obviously, Villa, did avoid relegation. If Villa would have gone down, then I would have assured that Jack Grealish, would have left them. But we've also got to focus on the outgoings in this summer transfer window as well as the incomings because obviously, we need to get rid of more of the deadwood at the football club. Like I said, I think we're going to get rid of at least 7 players in this summer transfer window. I think we are going to try and get rid of Lingard, even though Solskjaer, was talking about Lingard recently, saying that obviously he's been part of the club for several years and obviously, Lingard did score in the 2-0 win against Leicester, and that was his first goal for the club since Solskjaer's first game in charge. And these Europa League games, he'll get more opportunities, but I still don't think he's good enough to represent Man United. Hopefully get rid of Andres Pereira because he doesn't get in the team now. He's found game time hard since Bruno Fernandes came in. Sancho is going permanently, we know that. Smalling, we know now he's not going to be leaving Man United. He's returned to Man United as Chris Smalling. Obviously, Solskjaer was asked about Chris Smalling yesterday in his press conference ahead of the game against Leicester tonight, and he said he has been in regular contact with Smalling whilst he was on loan with Roma, and he said he was impressed of how he did with Roma, and he said that Chris Smalling reflects on his career. He is valued. He really, really is. But I said I was disappointed that we didn't get rid of him permanently because I just don't think he'll get in Manchester United's team unless obviously we drop Victor Lindelof or then he could obviously, get in the team and go alongside Harry Maguire. Some people think that Chris Smalling is actually no better than Victor Lindelof. But yeah, he did well in his loan spell with Roma. Roma did get him last summer on a loan spell. They got him for, they paid 2.7 million to get him on loan. At one point, I thought he was going to join Roma permanently because Roma did want to get him permanently. Obviously, he was left out as Roma's Europa League games. And obviously now he's back at Man United. Obviously, we wanted around £18 million to let Chris Smalling go permanently. But I don't think Roma are willing to meet that valuation. Chris Smalling still got a contract with Man United till 2022, but Smalling has been a long servant for the football club. He's had a good 9 or 10 years at Man United. I think we paid, was it over £12 million in from Fulham back in 2010. Rojo, I'm hopeful that we can get rid of him permanently because obviously he's been on loan at Estudiantes, hasn't he? I'm hopeful that we can get rid of Jones as well. I'm hopeful that we can get rid of Diego Dalot because I don't think Diego Dalot is good enough to represent Manchester United. He only made one start in the Premier League this season because he had a few injuries earlier on in the season, did Dalot. We got him in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window. We did get him for around £19 million from Porto. And Dalot has got a contract with us until 2023. But he's our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka. It did say that Barcelona and PSG have recently expressed their interest in Dalot. Some people say that Juan Mata should be sold in this summer transfer window. Obviously, Juan Mata doesn't really get in the team now. I think Juan Mata has enjoyed a good career at Manchester United. He's enjoyed 6 years at the club. We did get him back in 2014 from Chelsea for just under £40 million. But when he gets his chance, he still, he still does make a fantastic impact, and he's now in his 30s. I think Solskjaer, he's going to decide, or has already decided on what players he's going to loan out, because quite frankly, these players at the club that are not getting enough game time, such as James Garner, Cardiff, Swansea and Sheffield want to get him. Obviously, Tahith Chon, he hasn't had enough game time. Dylan Levitt, I don't think he's had enough game time. He's not had enough game time. And there's a few others as well. But don't forget, James Garland, Dylan Levitt, Tahith Chon all made their full Europa League debuts in the group stage. I also believe that Ethan Laird made his full debut in the Europa League group stage, and that he recently got promoted into the senior squad, did Ethan Laird. So we are, I presume, Man United are going to loan some players out. But as you all know, our transfer budget for this summer transfer window has already been revealed. Obviously, it confirmed that, Solskjaer's got around £140 million to spend. Is that enough for Manchester United? I think that can get us at least two players can £140 million. But obviously, if we do get Jadon Sancho, then the vast majority of that £140 million will be gone. But obviously, with us selling players, our transfer budget will increase. Solskjaer's literally told the board to back him, and obviously, he's told the board to go out there and get his preferred targets. Like Solskjaer was saying recently, we've got qualification for the Champions League. He also said he was delighted to finish third. And you've got to say that's a fantastic achievement, because put into the equation, it was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first full season at the football club. And also, too, we progressed to two semi-finals. Obviously, we got to the Carabao Cup semi-final, and we also got to the FA Cup semi-final, like Solskjaer mentioned in his press conference yesterday. So, overall, pretty good season, Look at the position we was in earlier on in the season. Earlier on in the season, you wouldn't have even thought we'd have finished in the top 10, of how poor we were. Earlier on in the season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. And obviously at that point, Solskjaer was close to getting sacked as Manchester United manager. But obviously, next season is the big test for Solskjaer. And next season is his second full season at the football club. And next season does start on the 12th of September. But like I've said, Solskjaer has been at the football club now over a year and a half. Like I said, I think Solskjaer's been permanent Manchester United manager for around, is it 15 or 16 months? But I did say to you, didn't I, even if we hadn't got qualification for the Champions League, I said, he still deserves at least another season at the club because it is a transition period and it has been a transition period for a while. We've got to recruit well in this summer transfer window, and I think we will because we've got Champions League football on the board. But our expectations next season will be to challenge for the Premier League title. Because we've got to spend money to compete with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool, and we've got to stop Liverpool and Manchester City's dominance. And like Matic was recently saying, we've got to fight for the title, and we cannot allow any club to win a title with so many games to spare. So in a way, the Man Matic was right, and we haven't won the Premier League since 2013, and this has been the 7th season now we have failed to mount any kind of title challenge up. We are the most successful team in Premier League history because we've won 20 titles and 13 of them are Premier Leagues. But I still don't know if Solskjaer's a foreseeable future for Man United. Of course, time will tell. I have seen a lot of improvements at Man United since January because we have rejuvenated ourselves since January. We haven't lost in the league since Burnley. We are unbeaten in our last 14 league games. Don't forget, we did go on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions until Chelsea beating us in the FA Cup semi-finals. I definitely think, players have improved at Man United, especially the top players. But there's still some players I think, that have got to step up to the plate. And there's still things that I've got to improve on the pitch. I think we need to be more clinical in front of goal slightly. But if we get Sancho, we'll look more clinical. I think we need to look back. We need to improve defensively. I think we need to keep the ball better. We need to be quicker on the flanks and that. So things have still got to improve. They really, really have. They really, really have and that. And yeah, things have still got to improve at Man United. And like I said, I think our recruitment has really, really improved under Solskjaer because we have been criticised for several years, reflects on how poor our recruitment policy's been, and, we've also been criticised for overpaying for players. So, yeah, definitely improved under Solskjaer's our recruitment, but Solskjaer worked out his transfer strategy early on in his managerial career, and he did say he wants to recruit young British talents to Manchester United because 3 of the 5 players he's brought in so far, of course, are British. But like I said, the vast majority of this team is not Solskjaer's. Let's put into the equation. Solskjaer's inheriting players even from the Mourinho era. He's inheriting a few players even from the Van Gaal and there's still matter even from the Moyes era. And there's still a few players even from the Ferguson era. But actually, the vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's. Like I said, another good thing, we've extended a lot of players' contracts since he came in. But I think we've still got around 8 players' contracts that are due to expire next year. So we've got to make a decision on those players. Like I said, Solskjaer has promoted the youth very, very well throughout the course of the season. I think our record against the top 6 sides has also been very, very good because we've taken like a good 18, 19 points against the top 6 sides throughout the course of the season. But like I said, there's been problems at the football club for several years. Not only with the managers we've had, there's been a lot of problems with the Glazers, Ed Woodward, the club's board. There's been a lot of problems, with certain players and all of that. But in the last 7 years, we've had different managers with different sort of philosophies. Obviously, they haven't been the right managers for Man United. We spent a good £900 million on players and we've recruited over 30 odd players in since the Alex Ferguson era. But like I said, we haven't dominated English football since the Ferguson era. Ferguson endured 20 odd years at Manchester United. Obviously, endured over 20 years of success because let's put into the equation, Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club. But just shows, it took Alex Ferguson time to settle in. And like I said to you before, I don't think anyone will replicate Ferguson's legacy at the club and no one will last as long as Alex Ferguson did. But you know, I still think, you know, we can get back to where we want to be under Solskjaer, you know. So there you go. Like I said, we've got last tonight in the Europa League, last 16, second leg at Old Trafford. Obviously, you know, we want to win the Europa League, because if we win the Europa League, it will be our first trophy under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, and it will be our first trophy in over 3 years. And the Europa League is definitely a priority for us. You know, I know we've got qualification for the Champions League and that. Obviously, you know, we are 5-0 up against last from the first leg. We either play FC Copenhagen or Istanbul Başakşehir in the quarterfinals. And if we get to the semi-finals, we either play Wolves, Sevilla, Roma, or Olympic Arcos and that. You know, so now our focus is the Europa League. Solskjaer did say us winning the Europa League is the next step. He has insisted that he will not rest any key players throughout this Europa League campaign, which is a surprise, because the Europa League is a chance, you know, to give the young players more chances and the fringe players, etc., etc. He will make changes tonight against last Wolves Solskjaer. I think he'd probably rest a couple of key players in that, but he did say he will not go with a much changed team from the 5-0 win against Lask in the first leg. So that's something I do want to confirm with you. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes, below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.